Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us.
What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
Starting to pick up.
Yep. Well, that'll be great on live, on a podcast.
Hey, we may lose one of these canopies. There it goes.
Oh, boy.
I knew that was going to happen.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas. Yeah, you're live, Irma. Welcome. What's up, Irma? How you doing? We got you. Hey, we're tapped into your computer there too, where you work. We can actually see you on video. I hacked your computer. So beautiful earrings today, Irma. You're always beautiful. Very nice.
You're so silly.
Good morning, Huntsville. You're live on Good Morning Huntsville.
That's never going to get old here on a Friday, is it, Billy?
No, it's old under this headset.
Yeah, with a couple of us. Welcome in, 2 of the 3 dumplings. I had one of the other dumplings on Tuesday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Garrick along. So,
yeah, y'all didn't think about calling the third wheel,
Nah, we knew you were resting up, getting ready for Fair on the Square,
Yeah, Fair on the Square.
Are you going to be down there tomorrow? Is that? Yeah, it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
You going to be down there?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Y'all giving away waters, doing all the fun stuff that y'all normally do at Sam Houston?
Yes.
Awesome, man.
Fun stuff that we do.
I'm going to raid that water coffin.
We're not bringing the casket.
No more.
For those of y'all out in live streaming land, I'm 125% against that casket.
Well, it is going to be fun.
Oh, hang on. It just went up to 130% against it.
Well, wait, hold on here. You know how it is on a Friday. You know what? We always bounce around. Let me just set the tone for the show real quick before the ADD kicks in. Welcome in. Happy Friday. Fabulous Friday as we get started here this morning. We are a big thank you to our good friend Elliot Herzlich at Elliot's Jewelers online at elliotsjewelers.com for partnering with us and sponsoring our broadcast studio. Thank you as well to Paul Oley of the Gallery. I cannot talk this morning. It's because I went to Smiley's. I went to the one that's off the interstate over here, and I always forget. I said, man, I got to get gas this morning. I was down to like 2 miles, and I said, I have to get it. Even though they give you that buffer, it's usually 20 after you're at 0. And I said, man, I'm going to end up paying so much more. But I forgot that one is actually legitimate, not the other one on the highway where you pay an extra $1.
Yeah, I've yet to figure that out.
Yeah, so we are here. Billy Cauthen, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, the hometown experts in celebrating life. And here we are today on a Friday celebrating a great week coming to a close. Big events happening this weekend, and we'll talk about that as the show goes on. Billy, good to see you, man. Happy for your youngster, JV. You sent me a picture. I put it on Hello Huntsville's Facebook, but they are just romping and rolling.
Yeah, they've had several last night. They've had several games where they were, 50-0, and then we did that again last night. And man,
a lot of these boys are going to roll up to varsity next year, and we are excited.
Yeah, I think when you look and we've got a great team right now, but I think the pipeline is so fresh here in Huntsville with these youngsters that are moving through the program. And, you know, it's great for the community. It's great for the school district. And most importantly, it's great for these student athletes. And so JV team's going to be rolling next year when they move up.
We got an awesome coaching staff. Those guys really, you know, devote a lot of time to those boys, and they actually care, and that means the world. So
they do. I'm going to have an interview up a little bit later this morning from Coach Amari Del Real, as I interviewed him this week on Tuesday. Just didn't have a chance to put it up on Hello Huntsville yet, but interviewed Coach Del Real. He used to be with special teams, and now he's the defensive coordinator the last 2 years, so you'll hear from him today. And then also interviewed the senior safety, Coach Schroeder's son. So had Cole on, and so you'll be able to see those interviews a little bit later this morning as we get ready for an historic night here in Huntsville, Texas, for the varsity team. The JV is actually the team that opened up the stadium, kind of unofficially, officially.
Oh, yeah, we put that hurting on them.
But they put the hurting on them last week. But how about this? Tonight, varsity will get their start, and the opening of the new Huntsville ISD Stadium, that game getting underway later this evening. And very excited for our community and all of the hard work that went in behind the scenes. Dr. Shepard did a tremendous job going around all the schools, getting the staff on board, B.J. McMichael and what he organized with the bond package, and so many others that were a critical part of making sure that went through. And I've seen chatter out there, and I'll just clear the air. This is a positive show. But before you start saying all that money went to this and that, you need to realize, too, folks, that money also did go to renovate every single facility through HISD, through all the schools. And so there is a huge educational component to it. And I've said it on this show numerous times, and I'll say it over and over. Young people get a sense of renewal and a sense of community pride. They really do whenever they walk into a facility that looks brand new or has had an overhaul. It's kind of like when you're a child and your mom, you know, you're at school, and I don't know if your mom did this, but my mom always did it for me. I'd be at school, and then I'd come home, and the bed would be in a different place, the dresser would be in a different place, and I just felt good. It was like something new. I don't know if you ever had that, Billy.
Negatory, Ghost Rider.
Negative. Did you have to do it yourself?
Yes.
Mom always did it for me. So, you know, it's good fun. We got a good show lined up today. Some things happening with our Great Walker County folks that are involved in the county. Bill Daugette, Commissioner Precinct 3, joining us, and also Butch Davis over OEM is about to step into the studio here in just a few moments. They've got a new app that is out, and boy, that app has been great.
I got it. I like it.
I thought they were the ones that sent that national emergency test the other day, but, you know, it was not. That was just a national test.
Hey, how many people knew that was coming?
I had no idea.
And cut their phone off. I mean, like it was some type of government conspiracy.
I literally had no idea that was going to happen.
Oh, man, you couldn't reach nobody at the funeral home on their cell phone. We cut all of them off.
Yeah, I had no idea that was happening. Bridget texted me, "Did you get the alert?" I said, "What alert?" And then I said, "Oh, yeah, I thought it was an Amber Alert because it's, you know, it's the same kind of tone that always happens." But we'll be speaking with these fine gentlemen here in just a few moments. And last night, you know, you talk about community spirit and just community pride here in Huntsville. Boy, what a turnout. I know you were at the JV game, but a tremendous turnout last night for the homecoming parade. It was great to see that. From what I was told, there was no businesses that were allowed to be in that, and it was really focused on the school district. Although I will say, not being bitter, but there was a couple of businesses there.
I did notice one that snuck through that I still, if you're not going to let everybody.
Yeah, I saw that last. I was like, how is that business in there? I thought it was but that's okay. That's okay. Everybody's a part of this community, and you know, most importantly, it was a great opportunity for young people in this community just to show what they're doing. The floats were neat. It was kind of a city night light theme, and a lot of the floats partook of that theme. And boy, it was great. I took Braylon down there, and she's still nervous of the sirens. She gets scared of the sirens. But you know the best way to overcome that fear? Keep bringing them.
Oh, yeah.
Keep bringing them.
Well, you know, I could tell they had an awesome time because when I pulled back into the funeral home last night, there were green balloons that I guess had blown up into our yard or whatever. I'm like, oh, yeah, they had a good time.
Boy, and I always have to wonder this, you know, there's always candy littered the streets afterwards. And we have found a good spot to set up for those parades. And we the key to the parades in Huntsville, and this is a big sense of community pride, I believe, in our communities, how many parades we have. The key to the parades are go away from all the crowds, stay on the route, but get away from where there's a big group of people. And as the as the folks come by with the candy, they're going to feel a little bit guilty saying, you know, they're just standing over there by themselves, and they're always going to throw candy, and you don't even have to celebrate Halloween anymore. You could just load up right there on those parades.
This is where I'm going to fall from grace with everybody, because I am not a fan. Billy James Cauthen, Huntsville, Texas. I am not a fan of the candy throwing.
Why is that?
Because there's a lot of people that get their little old kids in the back of the pickup truck, and those little old kids go to throw that candy, and they don't throw it far enough. And then all the other kids rush out to get the candy that didn't go far enough, and you're driving a 1942 International Harvester or whatever Greg Smith has put you in that day, and the kids are literally running under the vehicle that you're driving. And it's just scary because you don't want anybody to get hurt, but if we don't get that candy all the way to the sidewalks,
I mean,
eventually it's going to happen.
That's just going to happen. No, it's a good point that you brought up. And again, I think a lot of that, too, falls on the parents. You know, we hold Braylon back. I don't just allow her to go run out there. I make sure that she's safe and hold her back. But you brought up a good point, and this happened in a community, Hutto, Texas. A youngster did the same thing and tragically was killed in a parade because of that. Mm-hmm. But because of that instance, now Hutto no longer does, and they haven't done it for 15, 20 years now. Hutto doesn't do candy. Georgetown decided we're not going to do candy anymore. And for me as a young person, that was always one of the biggest things to go out to the parade was for stuff to be thrown out there. And so it's tragic what happens, but in my opinion, yeah, the folks throwing it. Now, some of them launch that candy like it's coming out of a potato gun. I mean, I saw a Tootsie Pop flying and knocked a lady in the head yesterday, and I said, yikes. It's kind of like being in a hockey game. You got to make sure that you're paying attention. And but I will say this, the parents need to just really protect their children at those parades. You know what? Don't let your child run out there. Because there was a float yesterday, and I don't remember who it was, and even if I did know who it was, I'm not going to call them out. But they had gotten behind, and man, they started flying down the road, and they were throwing candy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think this thing was probably going about 15 miles an hour. I said, yikes.
You know, and I see it so often. There's one little mama out there that's got everybody in the neighborhood's kids with her, and she can't watch them.
Well, that's where
these are little dudes.
Well, that's where you get a bunch of leashes, you know, and you put my dad had one of those growing up. My grandma told me years ago, she goes, you know, your daddy was always running amok, and so I had a leash on him. I didn't know they had him, like a little harness, and put him on a leash. So there you go. Just get 4 or 5 leashes. You'll be good to go, Billy. You and I need a couple of those on us every once in a while.
I need one on my mouth some days.
Well, folks, welcome in. For those of you wondering this morning, surprise, surprise, we had a power glitch and an internet outage last night in Elkins, and I was in a rush to get up here this morning, and unfortunately, the Spirit Radio playout system had shut down last night because of that, and so for those of you this morning wondering, maybe you're hopping on social media wondering why we're not on Spirit Radio FM, that is why. It's just because that system was down this morning. But it whenever it goes down, there's a backup rollover system, but it does not allow us to put the show on there. So that's why you're not hearing it this morning. But if you are on the social media streams, thanks for joining us. And let us know that you're out there today. A lot of folks chiming in. We'll get to those comments on the back end of the show. For now, though, we'll take our first break. We'll have national news coming up in just a few moments. I want to remind you, we are here this morning with our friends from Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. They are your hometown experts in celebrating life. Keyword Hornets will wrap up this week. Today, all you got to do is text in the keyword Hornets alongside your name on the Granny Mary's Cajun Asian Cuisine text line at 936-339-0139. Again, that number 936-339-0139. Still giving away more of those Lasso Your Imagination tickets, $50 value, and it's going to get you some great food and, more importantly, around a great nonprofit organization that Kay Boning and Tomorrow's Promise has done such a great job over the years helping to put books in the hands of our children. We'll step aside, take a break, stay with us. It's your show as always right here. This is Good Morning Huntsville.
USA News, I'm Dave Collins. It's day 4 without the Donald. Former President Trump not attending a civil fraud trial today. After attending the initial 3 days in New York City, he has returned to Florida. The case involves allegations of inflating Trump's net worth to secure more favorable loans. State Attorney General is pursuing fines of $250 million and a prohibition on Trump's company conducting business in New York. House Republicans are searching for a new speaker after Kevin McCarthy's removal earlier this week. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell urges the successor to change the rule that led to McCarthy's ousting, allowing a single member of the House to bring up the vote.
I think it makes the Speaker's job impossible.
Jim Jordan and Steve Scalise have already entered the race. Kevin Hern is also a potential contender. Alabama's revised congressional map now includes 2 districts predominantly representing black voters. One district comprises nearly 49% black voters, while the other encompasses just under 52%. This adjustment follows a Supreme Court decision affirming a 3-judge panel's ruling that the prior map contravened the 1965 Voting Rights Act. Just in time for Halloween, baby spiders are falling from the sky in the San Francisco Bay Area. They arrive on clumps of spider webs, according to Dr. Fred Larrabee from San Jose State.
What they're seeing is spider silk. Baby spiders perform a behavior called ballooning. Soon after they hatch, they disperse to new habitat to find new food and new places to hide so that they don't compete with their siblings.
Dr. Fred Larrabee says these spiders can float for miles. When the web clump lands, the spider either scurries out or has already jumped to safety. This is USA News.
The inventor and CEO of MyPillow is always looking for ways to solve everyday problems. Have you ever picked up a towel set because it felt really soft in the store, but then when you go to use it, it's not very absorbent? It's basically a towel that's leaving you out to dry. That's why MyPillow has developed the MyPillow towels. Towels that work. I know, it's mind-blowing. Towels that actually dry you. The 6-piece towel set includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. They come in a variety of colors, and right now you can receive a 6-piece set for only $39.98 with promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com right now and click on the radio listener special. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty and they have a 60-day money-back guarantee. To receive this amazing offer on the 6-piece set of MyPillow towels, just go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener special and enter promo code USA or call 800-951-8175. That's MyPillow.com. Promo code USA.
When you live and work in the town where you were born and raised, lots of people become just like family. I'm Billy Cauthen, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Over the years, we've shared a lot of good times and some tough times, and I'm honored to be the one you call on in your time of need. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, our goal is to help our neighbors in need and always provide the most outstanding service available, even on those really tough days. I thank you for your trust in us. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we're here for you.
Well, good morning, Huntsville. Thanks for waking up with us. Welcome back in. Time now 7:24 a.m. as we continue to celebrate all things good happening here in our community. And well, I tell you, we always have such wonderful things happening here in Huntsville as we'll continue to talk about and celebrate our community pride. But always a pleasure. Man, I gotta or do y'all mind scooting in just a little bit, Mr. Davis? I was gonna say I gotta readjust the camera, but we'll just scoot on over this morning. Now joined by our great friends, Butch Davis over at OEM. Appreciate you being here as always, my friend.
Thank you.
And our County Commissioner, Precinct 3, Bill Daugette.
All right, good to be here.
Good to see y'all. We got a pretty good slate today of things that we wanted to highlight, and Bill had texted me, I guess a couple of weeks ago and said, hey, can you help push this and get this out? And we're talking about the app today, Mr. Davis, and y'all have done such a tremendous job rolling this app out. A lot of folks have downloaded. Of course, we want more, but just kind of let us know the vision, Butch, if you don't mind, behind the scenes, and just how this new OEM, Walker County OEM app got going.
Well, I was contacted by a company that wanted to do an app, and they had been doing them all over the state, not many right here in our area. And they showed me what it could do, and I was very impressed with it. Carried it before the Commissioner's Court, advised them that I did have enough funding in my budget to roll this out, because we had done a hazard mitigation plan, and we had sent out a questionnaire, and one of the things was the public was wanting more information, more education on what's going on in the county. And so when they presented this app to me, I thought this is a perfect way to get this out, because everybody's walking around with one of these in their hand.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Even at my age, me and my wife will be sitting in a restaurant and we'll be looking at our phones instead of talking to each other.
Yeah, well, it's a great app. I downloaded it right after Bill Daugette had told me about it, and you can go, I believe, to the OEM website, Bill, if that's correct, and download this app. And we'll put direct links up on our social media feeds here in just a little bit as well. We've already shared that previously. Yep. But, some of the neat things, we just had a lot of rain. I mean, we had 3-4 inches of rain around this area. Thank the good Lord for that, because we needed these rains. We need more, but we're thankful for what we've got so far. But perfect example yesterday, there was a road closure. The app alerted me whenever there was, threatening weather that was moving in. The app alerted me. How important, Butch, is that information to get out to folks and now having it on the cell phones?
Well, it's very important because to me, it's public safety, and that's the whole job at OEM is to protect the citizens of Walker County and get them notified of any disaster, road closures, anything like that. We just want to get it out as quick as we can, and this is a way that we can get it out. A lot of people, we have a lot of followers on Facebook, but people are not on Facebook. This comes straight to their phone. It alerts them. They can look at it, and they can be aware of whatever's going on in Walker County.
Yep. Bill's here with us as well this morning. We appreciate you being here, a friend of Hello Huntsville, and you've been on our show numerous times. Always appreciate you dropping in and bringing Mr. Davis today. Bill, if you don't mind, can you pull that app up on your phone real quick? And I'm going to do a little trick here. Since the last time that you've been with us, I've actually got a way that I can use my phone to show your phone. So if you don't mind pulling up, I'm just going to go ahead and put my phone here, and this kind of shows you. Let me switch over to this here, Bill, and we'll show folks here. Well, I said I could do it. Here we go. Let me turn it on. There we go, and I'll flip it this way. So this you can kind of see. Bill's got it open on his phone here. And Bill, maybe walk us through just a couple of the features of the app here.
But some of the important ones, like Butch mentioned, was road closures. And it'll tell you a list of roads that are closed even after the alert has come out, like Dipping Vat Road was closed yesterday. The folks in Grand Ranch, Dipping Vat is the second entrance and exit to that neighborhood. So probably two-thirds of that neighborhood would probably come out Dipping Vat. So knowing that it's closed before they leave their house, that's huge.
And one thing I love about this too, Bill, I didn't mean to cut you, it's just so easy to navigate as well.
And you can look at, I used to get a lot of questions, especially during the flooding season, of, hey, how high is the river? So I would post, go find this U.S. map of the river gauges. This is the Trinity River gauge at the river in Highway 19 in Riverside. And it shows where the river's at, where the action level is, and the alert levels above that, and when we start getting into flooding up here. So now people know where that's at by just an easy click. And one of the easiest things for me is the local weather, and then right up here, and we're working on getting a name put by that button.
So you'll know that that's the
so you know
radar.
that, but
yes, sir.
in like 5 seconds, your radar jumps up. Weather Channel and stuff, there's a slow. Ours hits right away, and it's the exact same radar. So it's just so user-friendly, and Butch has been super open to suggestions we sent to him, to the maker of the app, to make some changes, to make kind of improve it based on comments we're getting here. So I'm with him on it. It's every now and then the government does something right, and here we are with something we can raise a flag and say, look, we did this right. 1,600 is about it's a download so far in the first month or so.
It's not bad.
First 2 weeks.
The first 2 weeks, that's cool. So, but we're still 20,000 shy of what we need to get to. So. Once we got it up and it's running now, we'll be really pushing it. I appreciate you letting us come on here and push it, because I know y'all reach our community here. It's on the Apple App Store, Walker County OEM, whatever Android users, the App Store, whatever for them, the same link there. We're going to be getting with some of the local entities like Riverside Water, maybe City of Huntsville Water, maybe Huntsville Item, whoever, to get today's world, a little QR code that people can just hit it with their phone, and everybody gets a water bill or a sewer bill. So we can reach 40,000 people as a part of a mail out, and just really push the importance of the fact that this thing reaches out to you. You don't have to go to Facebook and open it up and say, gosh, where's the OEM page? Let me go find what's going on. Now it dings you and says, hey, guess what? I-45's closed. That's kind of handy to know.
Yeah, and I love that. Those are the push notifications that immediately notify you of what's happening when these alerts are being put out through the app. We use a QR code service that's really neat instead of having 3 or 4, because you've got one for Apple, you've got one for Google. And, maybe we'll do this, and I'll put something in the window here so folks that are walking by, if y'all are okay with it, it doesn't, it won't affect anything. I'm not hacking the system, let me put it that way. Right. But I'll put a QR code in the window here, and if folks walk by our studio, for now, they can just walk by. I'll put that in the window later today, and it's one QR code, but it understands if you're on an Apple or if you're on an Android, and it will automatically go to the correct one. And so awesome. I'll put that up there for you guys, and we'll also put it up on the website so folks can start downloading this.
If you go to the Apple Store, it's Walker County OEM TX. They put the TX because we're in Texas, and they are all over the United States. So if you go there to your Apple Store or the Android, I'm an Apple fan. I've always had one. That's where you can go. But you need to put Walker County OEM TX, and it'll bring it up. And when she puts out a push notification less than 2 seconds, I'm getting it on my phone. So it's pretty instantaneous.
And this is a great way you think about, and again, we're joined here by Butch Davis with Walker County OEM and Bill Daugette, our County Commissioner, Precinct 3. When you think about, we pray and hope that we don't have any big natural things happen, but you go back and look, the game preserve fire. That's something that immediately, a notification would go out. Or if we had severe weather in the area, and immediately notifications will go out. And so this is a great way you think about keeping your family safe and knowing what's going on in the community. And I've lived, and I've been so thankful to live in other communities and great folks there. But we are so blessed here in Walker County with the resources we have. I mean, this is a big-time resource. For a county of this size, it is a tremendous opportunity for folks to stay engaged.
It is. It'll keep them in touch with whatever might be going on in the county. Like you say, a closure of Interstate 45. During the Game Preserve fire, we were doing that. That's a historical fire in Walker County. When you burn 4,428 acres in one spot in a county, that's quite a bit. And you got to give praises to all the fire department, the Forest Service, and the people that were in assisting the Forest Service. We had an incident management team come in to help us from Florida, Florida Forest Service. They did a fantastic job. That could have got bad. Mm-hmm. It could have went across Interstate 45. And if you remember back in 2011, we had what they call the Cowboy Church fire that started on 75, and in minutes it was across 45. So, and during that fire, we closed Interstate 45 for about 4 hours because we thought the fire was coming to 45. And so the first thing I did was contact one of my staff, and they can do it off of their phone. They can put that push notification out off of their phone. So that was immediately done.
That was a great, just great, and the response to that, and I'm kind of glad that you brought that up too this morning with us, Butch, is, we were broadcasting a game for New Waverly, and we were actually on our way out to, can't remember the name, Shepherd. We were on our way to Shepherd, and I remember seeing this smoke cloud. I said, man, that's a pretty big little fire going over there. And, at the time it was still kind of, and I took a picture from the interstate as my buddy was driving. I just looked out the window, took a picture.
I remember that picture, yeah.
And then we drove back through that night, and we were getting calls and texts like, hey, 45's closed down. Well, it just reopened. Yep. And, boy, it is just a scary thing to see that sky at, midnight just glowing, knowing that was a fire. But the response, as you said, and from the county and then bringing in other resources was just tremendous because it could have got out of hand pretty quick.
The local fire departments really worked hard, and they saved 54 homes. That could have been 54 people that could have been completely burned down if it hadn't been for the local fire departments. And we have such good people here in Walker County. to me, it's the greatest county in the state of Texas.
I couldn't agree more. That's one reason we came back here. So when you think about, events like over the past couple of days, we've had some much needed rainfall. What are some of the concerns that you have whenever we start having these big downpours, just from an OEM standpoint?
Well, we're always worried about flash flooding. And we have some areas here in the county that will go under pretty quick. And especially in Precinct 2, we have lots of roads, rural roads, that will flood on the St. Center River. Yesterday, we were lucky. None in Precinct 2 flooded, but that, like Bill was saying, that Dipping Vat Road, which is a back access for Texas Grand Ranch, it went underwater. And if people are not aware, it doesn't take but about 6 inches of water to float a vehicle, and you're down the drain. 2989, FM 2989 is a constant flooding. And we're working right now with the Trinity River Authority to get another river gauge that we will be able to put on the app that will be at the Beat Ice Creek there on 247 that will give us more information and let us know. The only gauge on the Beat Ice Creek is on the North Fork. The South Fork is not gauged, so until it gets to Riverside, I really don't know how much water is coming down the river. And so this will give us a little more indication of how much water is coming, so we can notify the citizens that, because we have some subdivisions that gets water, and Bill is blessed with those subdivisions.
I am, yep.
And so we want to keep the citizens safe, so we try to put it out. But in rain like this, flash flood is our big concern.
I always like what the Weather Service has always said in the campaign, a turn around, don't drown. And they've been
Correct.
saying it for 30, 40 years. And it's still amazing. We're always positive and lift folks up on this show, but it is still amazing that folks do not heed that. And they will try to drive through thinking, well, I've driven through this my whole life. It's nothing bad. But you just said it. What was it? 6 inches of water could wash you away.
And what we have more problem with is people going around barricades.
Right.
They'll go around those barricades when we're trying to do everything we can to warn them. There's water ahead, and you don't need to go through it. And then we're putting a lot of first responders in harm's way, because we got to send them in to get those people out of the water.
I wanted to. It's a good point that you brought up too about putting first responders in harm's way, because they have a selfless. Those folks are so selfless. They know what their job is, and they go out and they don't look and say, "Well, this guy shouldn't have been doing that. I'm just going to let him sit." They don't. That's not the mentality of our. They go out and help folks. And in the community that I grew up in, we had a flash flood. There was a low water crossing, and there was unfortunately an elderly couple. They had lived in this neighborhood, and so they had the mentality of, we drive across this all the time. We know it's not bad. Well, what happened is they started to drive across it. Then a huge wall of water came down on top of that, even though and this was barricaded. But then and what had happened was it washed that car down. And tragically, I believe it was the woman's husband had washed away. And unfortunately, they had found him 3 or 4 days later. And you're exactly right, because it put several first responders. It was tragic that life was lost, but these first responders, there was 4 or 5 of them, and they had to go out on ropes because the water was just rushing so bad. Yep. But then when they got there, they found out that they didn't have one piece of equipment that they needed, so that kind of made things worse. And you just be mindful. It's not always about you. It's always about the next person.
And here in Walker County, we have a lot of equipment. Our first responders have a lot of equipment, from law enforcement to fire to EMS. But, we're a smaller county. Funds are a little short at times. But we have a lot of equipment that we can do a lot of things here in Walker County that a lot of people are not realizing. The touch-a-truck deal that they had up here the other day. We had our vehicles and stuff up here to let them know. We brought our county judge give us a ambulance that was going out of service, and we converted it into a rehab vehicle. So like the fires or stuff, we go. They have water, Gatorade, snacks for the firefighters, for the law enforcement on manhunts. whatever they might be doing, we can go and keep those guys hydrated, keep them going so they can continue to do what they're doing.
But you think about an area like Walker County and so many rural areas, so many friends in many of these rural areas. When you think of a Crab's Prairie, you think of not New Waverly, but you think of Old Waverly. You know, there's so many communities throughout the area that aren't populous. What are maybe some of the challenges from an OEM standpoint that those communities may face, and how can the citizens at large in those communities really help during situations?
Well, you know, during like the game preserve fire, we put out when we need resources or stuff brought in like water, Gatorade, and we try to keep that all together at the OEM office, and so they let people know. The citizens of Walker County are the most giving people I've ever dealt with. Whatever we ask for, it shows up, and we're blessed.
Yep.
You know, we're really blessed here in Walker County. But the main thing people need to do in disasters is build them a home plan. And a lot of them don't. What happens if it floods my area? What do we do if we have a tornado? We have a hailstorm? Do you have a plan what you're going to do and how you're going to handle it? Do you have a to-go kit if you have to leave your home and go someplace else for a while? Do you have that go kit put together where you can pick it up and go, extra water, and a non-perishable item? But a lot of people don't realize you need just a plain old-fashioned can opener that you can use that doesn't need electricity.
Yeah.
And we've got in the world where everybody thinks that, well, I'll use my credit card. What if the electricity's out? You don't have the access to an ATM machine. You need to have some cash on hand, small denominations, just in case you need to go someplace.
Yeah.
Medication. People do not think about their pets. You gotta have a plan for your pets. You know, you've got to have a plan if you have an older parent living with you. You need to think about what the needs they have. So there's a lot of things that you need to do. We had a emergency preparedness fair a couple of months ago, and I was impressed so much that I'm going to do it again.
Yep.
We had over 300 people show up at that, and we had first responder vendors. We had a lot of vendors there that they could go around and talk to. It wasn't sit down and listen to me talk. You go talk to who you wanted to.
That's great.
And I tell you, went over real big. We were sponsored by some different people. Safe House sponsored. We had KSAM on site there. Cowboy Contractors furnished the hot dogs. We give hot dogs. We went through 200 hot dogs and nothing flat.
Man, that's great.
It was 200 people in about, 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
300 people in 2 hours.
HEB, who is always a great partner with emergency management, furnished the chips and the drinks. You know, like I say, this is a giving community. They really give.
When you were talking about just being prepared for the flooding, you know, in my mind, I was thinking of 4 Ps, an acronym, and it just popped into my mind. Pets, pills, pantry, and parents. You think about the 4 Ps, and you may be okay. So
yeah.
You know, 20-something years ago, we didn't have emergency response. We didn't have an OEM. We didn't have FEMA. We didn't have Homeland. We didn't have all those things. And people took better care of themselves. They were prepared. But in today's world, every disaster, from what I hear in my position, you know, hey, when's FEMA showing up? When am I getting my money? Where's my to-go package? Where's my safety kit? People almost expect the government to step in and provide all these things that Butch just mentioned. And we're not always there. You know, there are a lot of things don't qualify. And like you said, you know, if you get a tornado warning and they say, hey, grab your stuff and go, you got to go. You can't wait on somebody to come help you out. You have to grab your stuff and go. And if it's grandma and the puppy and your pills and that's all you get, then that's what you're going to have. So I think his point is spot on. Take care of your business. 2 or 3 days worth of stuff will get you out of trouble, probably past the bad stuff, and have yourself either back home or someplace else to be, while you may be waiting for somebody to step in and help you out. But be ready for those 2 or 3 days.
That's like when FEMA comes to town. The county has a threshold we have to reach in damages for the county to qualify for public assistance, and that's fixing county infrastructure, roads, and stuff like that. And that's $339,216 to get to qualify. And the individual assistance, which helps the people with their homes, we have to have 25 destroyed homes that they can verify to qualify for individual assistance. The state has to reach $55 billion in damages statewide to get FEMA to come to town.
Yeah,
it's a lot to think about. One thing, and again, we're joined this morning with Walker County OEM, Butch Davis. Appreciate him. And one thing that I've really enjoyed just getting to know you, Butch, and I knew of you 4 years ago, and then we moved away and came back, but I've really gotten to know you over the past 7 or 8 months or so. One thing that I really, really appreciate, and I've known this about Bill a long time, but it's something I've learned about you, is that you're passionate about serving this community and about making sure that our residents are safe. And that goes a long way, and appreciate all that you do to make sure that this county and our residents stay informed.
Well, I appreciate that. That's my whole thought pattern, is what my team can do to help the county be better prepared.
One thing that I think about, too, when you think of flooding, and I know I'm kind of going back a little bit here, but I was thinking of this a while ago when Bill was talking about being prepared and you were talking about being prepared. And really, some of this kind of came light with Hurricane Katrina, and I would have never thought about this because you think, hey, I'm in a home, it'll probably never flood. But, man, if there's 30 inches of rain that come in, there's a good chance you're going to get some flooding. And what I saw folks were doing is they said, hey, make sure that you've got an axe up in the attic. And I would have never thought about that because some of these folks, they were busting through their attics to get on top of the roof to save their life. And so, that's a thing now that up in my attic, now that I've saw you guys, it's probably where our house ever going to water. Probably not, but it's still a good idea to make sure you've got a way to get out.
And that point, those folks, they weren't told, or something, or you're not told in time, get out. With our app that we have now, Butch can send the note out and say, hey, we got flooding coming. It's going to be severe. Get out now so you don't have to.
You shouldn't have to use the axe.
Don't use your axe. So get the app, get informed, and it's going to get better and more stuff put in it as we go along here. But I think it's a lifesaver. That's why I'm thrilled that you mentioned that could we get and talk about it and get Butch on here and talk about it. I think it's just awesome.
Well, the only person in the county that can do a mandatory evacuation is the county judge, and that comes under the Government Code 418, gives him that authority if we have a disaster. What people need to realize, we don't just put that out for our goodwill. If we tell you need to evacuate, people need to gather up and go.
Yep.
And so many people... I can remember back in 2011, we were evacuating some homes, and I told a lady, it was a real rural area, and she said, I'm not leaving. I said, well, ma'am, I can't leave these first responders in harm's way to maybe protect you if it comes through here. You need to go. And she did. She left. And that's what I hate to tell anybody they got to leave. But if the judge puts out a mandatory evacuation, it's for a reason, and we need to follow. You need to follow what your first responders are telling you to do, and not question them because they have a lot of information that's going on during a disaster, and lots of times you just have to slow down and explain to them what's happening, and that's why I think this app will send out information in a timely manner that people will be warned ahead of time so they can be prepared.
Well, we'll help promote that app here through Hello Huntsville and throughout the community. And again, there's going to be 30,000 plus down here for Fair on the Square this weekend. And like I said, y'all have inspired me to put a little QR code in the window, and I'll download the Walker County OEM app. And so if you're walking by 1201 University at Fair on the Square, just walk by our window. You'll see Hello Huntsville. I'll put it in the window. All you got to do is open up the camera app on your phone. All the newer phones support it. Some of the older ones don't, but open up that camera app. It'll pop up a link, and it'll take you right to it, and you'll be good to go.
Yes, sir.
That would be awesome, Rob. Thank you very much.
We'll just,
appreciate that.
We'll pop that up there. So, well, Butch, it's always great to have you and appreciate all of your service to our county, and I'm sure we'll have you on again here in a few months and give us some more updates. Bill, wanted to give you just a quick opportunity of things. Maybe give us I know it could be a 2-hour program, but we'll make it a 5-minute program. Maybe give us a quick state of the county. What's been going on in your world?
You know, the county's doing pretty good right now. We got we wrapped our budget up, and October 1 started a new fiscal year. We're still seeing the growth in residential. I'm looking for a little more growth in the commercial. We had an industry getting ready to relocate up here, so that's the little toe in the water for us. If he can get up here and enjoy what he's doing and his people stay and the business thrives, maybe other people will look to that and we can point and say, hey, look, these people up here, they're doing fine. So we're transferring from a bedroom community that drives down to Conroe and the Woodlands and A&M and stuff like that into a community where we need some more commercial business to come with us. So I'm looking forward, and we're doing what we can with that. I will give credit to Colt Christian, our county judge. He's reaching out all over the place and getting in touch with people that he knew or knows that are involved in businesses, and telling them, hey, come on back to Walker County. We could use you here. So he's working pretty hard at that, and I think we'll all benefit from that. If I've only got 5 minutes, I got to do kind of a shout out to my Bearcats. I'm a graduated in 2011 Bearcat, and been watching play football, and it's been challenging, but
they've been hanging in there.
We started with stars in our eyes down there at BYU, and then Air Force, and then University of Houston. But with the last 2 games, we could have been there. So maybe we're getting comfortable playing with the grown-ups. And I'm looking forward to our future from here forward. Last night's game, we could have won it on the last play of the game.
We could have, yeah.
And it just didn't work out. But I'm a proud Bearcat, proud Walker County guy, and just thrilled to death to be here with you this morning. And once again, so glad you had me and Butch on to talk about what he's doing for our community.
Well, you bet. Well, we'll keep in tune with what you guys are doing. Again, download the app. We'll put it up on the window. We'll also put an article up on the website and also on our social media feed. If you haven't already, make sure that you like Hello Huntsville on Facebook and go subscribe to our newsletter at HelloHuntsvilleTX.com. We try to send those out every single Thursday, and getting close now to about 900 subscribers with an open rate of about 60%. So most folks are actually opening that newsletter, and we'll give you a plug in there as well, and
awesome.
we'll see this app take off. So, Mr. Davis, good to see you. Appreciate you, my friend. Always good to see you.
Thank you,
You
sir.
didn't wear the cowboy hat today.
It's over
right
there.
It's over there. You knew the headset was coming on.
Well, something I always say to my staff, let's be proactive, not reactive, and that's the way people need to operate.
I love it. Proactive, not reactive.
Absolutely.
Bill, good to see you, my friend.
Thank you, Rob, as usual.
We'll step aside. We'll take a break. Billy Cauthen will rejoin me as we'll talk more about all the good happening here in Huntsville. Want to remind you, before we do take that break, text in the keyword Hornets along with your name on the Granny Mary's Cajun Asian Cuisine text line at 936-339-0139. We'll step aside, take a break. More to come. It's your show as always. This is Good Morning Huntsville.
You were born and raised. Lots of people become just like family. I'm Billy Cauthen, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Over the years, we've shared a lot of good times and some tough times, and I'm honored to be the one you call on in your time of need. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, our goal is to help our neighbors in need and always provide the most outstanding service available, even on those really tough days. I thank you for your trust in us. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we're here for you.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas. There's a place in Huntsville and now in Conroe where you're more than a customer, you're part of the family. A place where style meets comfort and every visit feels like a treat. Welcome to the Color Bar Hair Salon. From the moment you walk in, our friendly stylists work to create a look that's perfect for you. Whether it's a fresh cut, a vibrant new color, or a blowout for that special occasion, at the Color Bar, we've got you covered. We pride ourselves on creating an environment where our guests can relax, enjoy a beverage, and let us do the pampering. We use top-notch products like Kevin Murphy and even offer hair extensions for those looking to add a little extra flair. And when it's got to be perfect, we ensure you leave looking and feeling your best self. But don't just take our word for it. Book a reservation or buy a gift card online and experience it firsthand. Visit us online at colorbartx.com and discover why at the Color Bar Hair Salon you get an experience that goes beyond. The Color Bar, where you belong. See you soon. Illuminate your child's future at Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools in Huntsville. Established in 1997 by Kay Boning, our award-winning center merges Christian values with 25 years of Montessori excellence, promoting wonder and discovery in every child. As the only Montessori school within 45 miles, we provide a fun and friendly environment, individualized Montessori methods, and love and care as if each child were our own. Safety is a priority, and with a recent $50,000 investment, our facilities inspire growth, creativity, and learning. Plus, as a nonprofit, we open Montessori doors to families of all economic backgrounds. Partner with the community pillar where every child's promise shines bright. Discover Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools today. Visit tpms.life. That's tpms.life.
We're back at it. Folks are probably like, "Oh, Grace, Rob, and Billy, it's time to turn this off now." It was fun with Bill Daugette and Butch Davis, but now it's time to turn it off.
Yeah, you was getting learnt on something now.
Yeah, it's about to get rowdy back up in here again. Welcome in, folks. As always, we appreciate you joining us here. Just a beautiful week it has been. The rain came in. I mean, some area, I was looking down in Angleton, man. They got like 8 or 9 inches of rain. And you come back here to home, probably, some areas I saw on the rain gauges, 4 or 5 inches. And we needed that. And I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like tomorrow is going to be absolutely beautiful for Fair on the Square. 72 forecasted high. We're going to have a little bit of a northern come in. Winds will be out of the north. They even said you may need a light jacket tomorrow morning, and then it's going to get up to 72, partly cloudy throughout the day. What a beautiful opportunity to bring your family and celebrate all the goodness that Huntsville, Texas has to offer.
Well, when Bill and Butch were in here talking, I was out on the veranda sipping my coffee. My coffee. Hey, they're already doing stuff down there. They're putting out the barricades and taping stuff off, and there's big trucks tonight. Showing up.
Party starts tonight with a concert, 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So it's the kickoff tonight, and then tomorrow they're going to extend it all the way to 6 o'clock tomorrow night. So an extra hour for Fair on the Square.
Wow.
400-plus vendors, 2 children's areas, shuttles. First Baptist is going to be driving bus. My Pastor Bay, is going to be driving one of those buses. So I think that's kind of cool, man. And many other folks involved as well. And I'm
going to be handing out water. So if anybody wants to come hang out with me.
Yeah, well, we'll be down. You know what? I've got to get up at Man, Laura,
Laura,
I love Laura Green, and so anytime Laura needs help, I try to help her over at the chamber. And Laura said, Rob, part of your HLI is you've got to have 4 hours of volunteer time. And I feel like I've already, I give more than 4 anyways. I would do it just because I love doing it and supporting the chamber. But I said, all right, well, I'll just go ahead and get the official 4 hours. Just kind of, there's Irma, by the way, dropping by.
Yeah, there she is.
I kind of feel, I'll go ahead and just get the 4 hours knocked out. Well, my brain is in overdrive, and I totally forgot that I have New Waverly football tonight, which means I'm not going to get to bed till probably about midnight by the time I get back home. And we're home tonight. It's homecoming for New Waverly as well. By the way, those season presented by Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Appreciate that, Billy, Greg. But, it's I'm sitting there thinking that I've got to do the game. But then here's where I go back to Laura, because I told her I'd help with setup and tear down, which is basically directing traffic. I got to be there at 5:30 tomorrow morning, which means I got to get up. With me, it takes me about a good hour to get going. It means I've got to get up at about 4:30. So I'm only going to be running on about 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I did not plan this one good at all, Billy. Which is okay. Last night, I don't know what it was, man. I finally got to bed maybe around 10, 11, and then I woke up at 1:30, didn't go back to sleep till almost 4.
Don't you hate that?
Man, I just couldn't figure out why. And people are like, well, get off your phone, quit. Well, if you're laying there for 2 hours without it and you still can't fall asleep, you might as well find something to do.
Yeah, I read the news on mine. That's how I kind of, when that happens, I kick open that little news app and I go to local and I start reading stuff. Half of it's wrong, but I still, read it as best I can. And then I kind of, get tired and go back to sleep.
Fizzle back out. I listen to a lot of, if you follow me on Facebook, I listen to a ton of John Osteen sermons. It's Joel's daddy. He passed away in 99. Loved his preaching. And I go back and listen to, all of them are on YouTube. And last night I hopped upon a 50th anniversary of his ministry that they had back in the 90s. And KHOU in Houston had carried it live, and it was just neat. It was a celebration. And you know what was cool about that was the mayor. It was a lady mayor there in Houston, and she said, we are known, and she was there in person, and they recognized her. And this is where I think our country, and I know people say the separation of church and state, and you can agree to disagree. That's what I love about life. We can all agree to disagree. Mm-hmm. I believe our country was founded on faith-based principles. And I think, and there's a reason on the dollar and on the currency, it says, in God we trust, for a reason. But what I really enjoyed was that mayor, and I forgot her name, but she had said, Houston is known as an international city. John Osteen was really, people don't realize this. And when you think of Lakewood Church, you may think of something totally different. But John Osteen was a minister that actually was kind of a pastor's pastor. So he would hold these worldwide, literally a worldwide conference in Houston to bring in church pastors of all denominations. And he would train and teach and lead pastors. That was one of his big things that he did in life, and folks don't know that.
Whitmire.
That's her, Kathy Whitmire. Thank you, Santa George, and good morning to you, my friend. Kathy Whitmire. And Kathy in this said, and this 50th celebration was also that year's worldwide conference to bring in pastors for training. And there was maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people in attendance. And Kathy said this. She goes, we are known as an international city. But she goes, tonight, it is my desire that we are now known as an international city for God. And I think that's where I'm getting at, that our country, I really feel and I wish that we would get back to having that type of servant leadership and be open about it. And I know that there's rules and things that, that have been put into place, but I truthfully think that that's where we need to get back to. And that's why I love this area, and I love Huntsville, and I love our county, is there are so many good people that live here in this community that want to help and embrace and lift each other up. And that's what I love about Huntsville.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what I was super proud of Monday night when we done the dedication of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
We prayed.
Yeah.
And I remember as a little kid, you'd go to the football game, and there was a prayer and a pledge, and I missed the prayer. And I've said something to, what's the principal at the high school, Paul Trevino?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've said something to him about it. Yeah, awesome dude. It's like, why don't we bring that back? I mean, if it offends somebody, just sit down and keep your mouth shut. Let the rest of us do what we know is right,
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And I was, it's one of those things. Growing up in Georgetown, we always did it before the games and everything. And I think that unfortunately there's state laws that have came down now that have prohibited that. And so, but I'll never forget this. I had a coach in Georgetown, basketball coach, and he had went on to coach at another school, and a great guy. And you know what was neat is he would always pray with the students right there before the games. Mm-hmm. They'd pray. Well, someone in the audience got offended by that. And said, wait a minute, whoa, wait a minute. Not supposed to do that. And so they didn't fire him, but they said, you can't pray with the students anymore. But you know what was funny? The next game, the students were praying on their own, and the coaches were praying on their own. And they were in two groups that were still close to each other. You cannot stop the power of prayer.
Nope.
And it was neat to see that continues. So someone came in and said, we're going to stop this because they were the 1% that it offended. But those coaches and those kids still found out a way to do it, that they couldn't be stopped. And
our coaches circle up and they pray. Yeah.
So, and again, my goal on this platform is to lift everyone up and encourage everybody. But I also have faith guiding principles that I believe that we can't turn away from, and we have to be open about that, and we have to talk about it. And and I do it from a position, and people say, "Oh, that's just what they say nowadays. Oh, that's just something a crutch." But I mean it. I do it from a position of love because I love people. I love embracing people. I love people where they're at, man. And you know what? If we would all just hug on each other and pray on each other and love on each other and quit looking at people's past. Everybody has a past. We are all broken. That's the message. Here's the message this morning. See, we always fade into it, Billy. That's the message this morning.
And we don't necessarily plan to.
We don't even plan on it. It always pops up. But friends, we are all broken. Mm-hmm. We are all just in some ways destroyed. We are in some ways just messy. We're messed up people. But you know what is great is that all of that has been forgiven. And all we have to do is cling to him and Jesus, our creator. And that's what I want to say about that this morning. And so no matter where you're at, no matter what your past is, and I posted, this is why sometimes I feel like I wake up at 2 a.m. or 1 a.m., can't go back to sleep. And I feel like God put this on my heart last night. I was talking to a friend a long while back, and he had said, so-and-so is not really a fan of whatever this and that. And I remembered immediately this impression on my heart. And I wrote about it last night. I said, God is always rooting for you. And I want you to hear this morning. God is always rooting for you, friends. He's your biggest fan and supporter, regardless of where you have been or what you have done. And some of us have been in very bad places, and some of us have done terrible things, unimaginable things. But think about the compassion that our Creator has for us, regardless of that. Don't worry about what people on this earth have to say about you. You're going to have your haters. You're going to have people that say, I don't support that guy. I'm not a fan of that person. I don't like what they do. But when you do things from a genuine, caring heart, none of that matters. You are a child of the Most High God. And here's the big key of all of this, Billy. When times are good, turn to him. But equally as important, and probably more important, is when things are difficult, turn to him. Mm-hmm. That's the message this morning, man. That's it, man. And we all got to turn to each other. And that's what I love about Huntsville and this community. Someone who has just poured into me over the last 8 months and has helped me through some, when I came back to Huntsville, the phrase that was on my mind immediately, and nothing about anything, it was just sometimes we go through a season of bitterness. And it took a while to overcome that because you have to stand in your faith knowing that some doors close because God wants to open other doors. But the phrase that came into my mind was get better, not bitter.
Butter.
Get butter. Get butter. No, but seriously though, get better, not bitter. Mm-hmm. And a gentleman who has poured a lot into my life, and many of you know him, and if you don't, I encourage you to get to know him, is Dr. Alvin Jones. And Dr. Jones has been so tremendous, and he has encouraged me and lifted me up. I mean, back in the day, he was a delivery doctor. We had him on the show. 2,000 plus babies over the years here in Huntsville. And I'm surprised because I talk to people that are like, oh, I don't know who Dr. Jones is. He delivered 2,000 babies.
He might have been one of them.
He was one of the spearheads of bringing the National Day of Prayer to Huntsville 20 plus years ago. And that's something else that I'm excited about is I feel like there's an opportunity here in Huntsville for there to be a community revival, regardless of denomination. as long as we all believe in Jesus, I think that there's an opportunity for churches of any denomination that believes in that to get together, and let's all celebrate the good that's happening here in this community, and let's all get together, man. I drove through McGregor, Texas years ago, and probably 8 years old, and this still sticks in my mind. You know, churches have the marquees, and I'll never forget this. I was driving through, I was outside of Waco with my dad, and like all these churches had these marquees that said, Community Revival, here, Sunday, 10/7, 7 p.m. The next church down the street, total different denomination. I mean, we're talking you go from Church of Christ to Pentecostal, and that's a big separation. And I've got friends on both. I've grown up in both. And it said Community Revival here, and it was the next week. So they all worked together to have this community support.
Rotating.
Wasn't that cool, man?
Man, I tell you what.
So get on down there and get the rest of that.
Yeah,
Billy.
get the rest of that.
So, anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about.
You know,
this
we
morning.
could do that here if we tried.
We could, and it's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen. So, so you know what, friends, work together with each other, and I want to encourage you this too. Just while I'm on this kind of kick right now, that if you look at somebody and a thought, and this has happened to me, it's happened to all of us. But if there is a thought that comes across your mind about somebody, you need, and I'm talking about a negative thought. Don't let that infiltrate words that come out of your mouth. Push those negative thoughts aside and try to find something good to say about somebody. Everybody, every single person, there's at least something good that you can say about somebody. I heard it in a message a while back. I think it was actually at HLI that says if you ain't got something good to say about somebody, find something good to say about them. I'm not saying you got to be best friends with that person or embrace them or call them up every day, but just be mindful. It's something that I strive to do every day, and it's something that I think we should all strive to do. And that's what's going to make this whole community even better. It's going to make this world a better place. It starts today with you when you wake up and look in the mirror. That's my words, Billy. That's all I got, man.
Hey, I had a situation like that just earlier in the week. I had a lady she was raining on my parade. I was trying to help somebody and get some stuff done, and this lady just totally rained on it. And I was a little upset. Then I got thinking about it. I said, dang, she's good at her job. And there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be mad at her all day, or I could realize, hey, she did her job and she's good at it.
And somebody, we were talking about this at Rotary the other day, and it was really cool. And we'll have a program, I'm sure, here coming up before too long. You were there.
Oh, man, I want to. We were kind of picking fun at that guy when it first started, but by the time he was done, that might be my new hero.
And it wasn't like we're picking fun directly at him.
No.
I was like, how do you karate words? I didn't know what he was talking about at first.
I misunderstood the title a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, because it was called a keto. A keto vocabulary. What was it? Vocal Aikido.
Yeah, I thought we was going to be in there kung fu fighting.
And I was like, Akuna Matata? What is it? I didn't know what it was, man. But once he started talking, I got very engaged, and we're going to have him. I actually invited him to come on the show, and he's going to. But it's how do you direct a conversation? If somebody says something you don't agree with, are you immediately going to get defensive and try to attack that? No. Ask people, well, why don't you agree with this? What about this bothers you? And all of a sudden, now you deflect. I like how he described it better, but you deflect that energy, and it's like you pull them along with you instead of letting it bounce off of you and cause friction.
Yeah, the 30 minutes he was up there, I mean, I took away stuff, and for Billy Cauthen of Huntsville, Texas, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I picked it up.
And I started thinking about that, even since Rotary, there's been some conversations that I wouldn't say were difficult, but it was the way that I've responded to those now. I want to learn more about why somebody feels the way that they do. And so just think about those things. Big events, we talked about it tonight. Huntsville Hornets, they are battling Rudder as they'll open up the Huntsville ISD Stadium. So get out there, support the Hornets. I'll be in the wonderful community of New Waverly as well, highlighting those student athletes. Been a privilege to work alongside Ed Watto. And it's funny, though. He said he was down in the valley one time, and people thought it was Eduardo.
Oh.
Because it's Eduardo. It comes if you say it real fast. And I thought when I first met him, he said his name was Eduardo. I was like, wait a minute. But Ed's been a great guy. Love working with him. And so we're promoting that community. And big thanks to Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home as our season presenting sponsor for making those games possible. You can catch them on SHN Sports. So that happening. Also tonight, concert getting underway, 6 to 10 downtown as the kickoff for Fair on the Square. And then all day tomorrow, it's Fair on the Square. That'll get started, I think, around 8 or 9 and go all the way until 6 p.m., and it is going to be a lot of fun on a perfect day. So get the family together, come out, celebrate, and you'll see the goodness of Huntsville, Texas.
Yeah, if you can't find something good to do in Huntsville the next 3 days, you're out of there.
Yeah, I mean, it's
there.
I never can go to all the vendors. There's just so many of them.
No.
It needs to be like a 2-day event.
Hey, look at here. I'm going to get that funnel cake. I mean, that's just, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you hit up the food court? That fair food is always the best.
And it's in my family, it's almost a running joke. We're going to get a funnel cake and we're going to get out of the mess.
Hey, Ed is watching in this morning. I didn't even know you were watching, Ed. Ed just said, I want to meet Billy. And he said, New Waverly's grateful to have us. And I appreciate you, Ed. Looking forward to tonight, man. Going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
You want to meet me? I spend my days at 1700 Normal Park Drive in beautiful downtown Huntsville.
You're right next to Walker County Federal Credit Union. So go there, open up a bank account. You used to could go by there and complain to Suddenlink, too, when they were there, but they're no longer down in that area.
You can still sit out there and gripe at them.
But they ain't going to listen.
They didn't before.
Oh, goodness, man. Goodness.
You know, the reference point when people are, you're telling them where the funeral home's at. You're the one behind Brookshire Brothers? Yes, we're the one behind Brookshire Brothers.
I would have never imagined that. I would have said.
That's the reference point, man.
I would have said, you're the one that's near the hotel, the Holiday Inn? Because that's what I think of when I go by there, the parking lot the back parking lot to the Holiday Inn.
That parking lot's a thorn in my side.
The old Holiday Inn. So, Billy, what else is new in your world? I know we've chatted a lot about different things today, but what else is new in your world? What have you been up to, man?
That's a great question.
Besides Blue Jean Friday.
Shh. Yeah, Greg's there today. I'm going to get caught. Y'all say a little prayer for me. We just been working. We're getting ready, and I might have mentioned this before. We're adding on to our building. We're bringing something awesome for Huntsville to have. Let's see what else I got going on.
Yeah, y'all are renovating over there, correct? Is that already underway?
Permits. City of Huntsville permits.
Perfect. Well, you'll get it eventually. So all things are good.
Well,
man.
we were trying to get it done. Our funeral home, there's 3 locations. We come together as a big old dysfunctional family once a year for a Christmas party. And we were really hoping to have it in Huntsville this year. But, man, if we don't get to nailing and sheetrocking and painting.
That ain't happening.
And I ain't talking about Billy doing it because I've been remodeling my own house for 3 years now. So
there you go.
I am not your guy. So that's what's been going on in my life. I'm a horrible contractor.
I'm not the bread to your butter, buddy.
No, man.
I'm not even the toaster. I can't even cook the toast.
But hey, I will get you in a jam.
Hey, there you go. I'll take a knife and spread it.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, you ought to cut into these.
What did Rick Boning bring us this morning?
He brought me 2 big cinnamon rolls.
Oh my goodness! Look at that, man. Look at this, and that's courtesy of 2 Blondes and a bakery.
I thought that when he brought it in, I thought it was like Princess Leia hair pieces.
I was hoping that you were going to take them out and kind of hold them there on your ears, but we didn't get around to that today. We were supposed to have the massage show today.
I have enough hair gel in. I don't need any more sticky stuff.
We were planning on having that on location show over at Elevate Massage. We're going to try to do that next week. So
man, I have so been looking forward to that.
That gives me a week to get tan, because it's a back massage and all that, and I need to tan up a little bit.
Are you gonna show people my back?
We'll move the camera away and then we'll turn it on.
because I'm fat and white all over. You wouldn't have to have these studio lights on, that's for sure.
We put the red filter on.
You could light a candle and just the reflection off.
Let's head over to Granny Mary's Cajun Asian Cuisine phone line. We got our winner today, by the way. Someone who's won before.
What are we giving away?
Lasso Your Imagination, $50 ticket.
Oh.
If they answer.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Billy Cauthen.
Crap. I know who it is now. I'm sorry, ma'am. And Rob made me do it.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, Tara, congratulations.
Look, man, she works with veterans, and you sit there and let me do that.
Well, no, hey, Billy, I thought you were choking or something.
No,
man.
This woman loves me enough. She'll come by the funeral home and give me a whooping. So.
Tara, I thought Billy had a dumpling in his throat. That's why he couldn't talk. Hello.
I didn't know dumplings for breakfast was an option.
Oh, Tara, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We are wonderful and blessed and highly favored. We need to get you back on the show sometime to talk about some great events that y'all are having there at at Hart's Veterans Museum. But you have texted in. You have won a ticket to Lasso Your Imagination on October the 14th. So I'll bring that by and drop it off to you. You always get the special treatment. I drop things off to you, Tara.
Well, it's always good to see you, Rob.
So, congratulations. Give us a very quick, what's going on at Hart's right now? What are some things on the horizon?
Well, we're gearing up for the Marine Corps birthday on November 10th and the Veterans Day banquet on November 11th. So things are super busy around here.
Well, back-to-back stuff, huh?
Yeah, that's really quick. And Tara, you do such a great job along with your staff and all the volunteers over there. And I'll drop by, and then we'll reach out and get you scheduled to be back on the show to kind of talk about everything so we can educate our audience here.
Well, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to it.
All righty. Well, hey, have a blessed weekend coming up, and we love you, and we appreciate all you do, Tara. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Love you guys.
All right, there
Love
she
you too.
is. Tara Burnett. That's what I love about Huntsville. You can just say I love you.
Well, no, she means it.
I know, but
that woman right there now, when you think about somebody that really gives their time and goes the extra mile, that's her.
It is. Before we go,
they gave up their own land, man, for that project, the houses.
Yeah, the housing project out there.
Yeah, I can't think of the name. I mean, I know it's something military related right now. I know it is a 10 mile.
Yeah.
But yeah.
FOB 10 mile. That's it. Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah,
that's it. Hey, before we go, a lot of friends were chiming in today. Russell Humphrey saying, "Let's go Huntsville."
Russell's geared up, man. That's like the second or third thing he said.
Brittany Wright was saying, "I know where you can get a good tan." Well, I think so, Brittany, over at Color Bar Tanning Salon. I think she's the owner over there. I felt so terrible because Brittany goes to church over at First Baptist where Bridget and I go, and we bring the kiddos. And Brittany, please forgive me because I saw her Wednesday night, and I said, You look familiar. And she goes, "Yeah, I'm Brittany from the tanning salon." I said, "Oh, that's right."
Hey, look,
so
that happens
forgive
sometimes.
Me, Brittany, forgive me on
happens.
that. Yeah, totally forgive me. I will not forget now. Cherie was chiming in earlier saying, "Great show today. Very informative, encouraging. Have a great day, Huntsville. Good to see you, Cherie." Tara Burnett was talking earlier about the National Day of Prayer that they had at the storm shelter years ago that was amazing. Had choirs from 5 or 6 different churches. It was great. You know what's... of course, that's now over at the fairgrounds now. I don't want to let too many of the cats out of the bags, but I can say that there are some initial planning stages underway to not only have the National Day of Prayer during the day like we normally do around the lunch hour, but there is going to be a special service now that is going to bring in churches from all over the community, and it's going to be an opportunity for families because during the day, it happens during the week. Kids are at school, people are at work.
Yeah.
We're going to start having a night National Day of Prayer as well. So it's a two-pronged day. You can be there during the day for the National Day of Prayer, and that evening we're working on planning on getting more folks involved and having more of a prayer/worship service and trying to bring somebody in from out of town to kind of lead that. So that way nobody feels like there's maybe favoritism between one or the other. Yeah. And so that's something that's in the works that we're really excited about coming up this year.
Cool. Hey, have you heard about the big cross that Northside's putting up?
I did. 100 feet. That's going to eclipse Big Sam.
Yeah, we had to give Big Sam something to look at.
Yeah, it's a new cane for him. So, except his hand will be way up here. Yeah, and I want to reach out to Reagan and put that up on the website as well. But yeah, they're building over 100. I think it's 120-foot cross that they're putting up out there.
Yeah, or 117 or something. I don't know. Reagan's been talking about it.
Well, 117 and a quarter.
Well, I mean, it depends if it's hot or cold outside.
The expansion of the metal.
Exactly.
He's been talking about it for a while, huh?
Oh yeah, no, it's a big thing, man. And just the guy that's actually building the thing, to hear Reagan talk, the guy's pretty amazing, and really stepping up to the plate to get this thing done. So I'm excited to go out there and see it, and just could you imagine standing at the very bottom of that and looking up and just seeing the thought of what Jesus did for us on the cross, and just that's
going to be incredible.
If that don't lead people to the right direction,
I think we should put it, like put it on a spring, kind of like, in that way it kind of wobbles. So, a little adrenaline rush when you're looking at it. Will it fall? No. Will it go back? Yes.
Negatory Ghost Rider.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Spring would break.
That would be my luck.
Stephanie was chiming in earlier this morning saying, everyone, I love what you said, Stephanie, over at Advantage Specialties. Good morning to you. She said, every saint has a past. I love this, Stephanie. This is so good. Every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. Boy, that's great, Stephanie.
I've known Stephanie for a long time, and when she says something, it's normally pretty good.
Carolyn Gibson chiming in earlier saying that she has 5 inches of rain at her house that it came 5 inches of rain there in her area in the avenues. Also, did want to mention, oh man, I'm excited. I've waited to save it for the end of the show. My brother's having his first child this weekend.
Check that out.
If they don't have it, and this is, again, everyone, why did you leave? Why'd you leave in the first place? People know that story. Then why'd you leave Fargo on the dream job? Because we wanted to be back in the dream community. And,
why'd you leave Fargo? Because it's freezing cold
Yeah,
up there, and there ain't nobody with a southern accent.
And Jerica, if you're watching, I haven't seen you on this morning, so good morning to you wherever
She
you
might
are.
be frozen.
It's going to get down to like 32. They have frost advisories already.
32 will shut Huntsville down.
Yeah, that'll shut it. 33 will shut us down. But no, I'm excited, man. My brother is 4 years older than me. I'm 39. He's 43, and he is having his first child, and that was him having a baby, us having our second child, Bridget's sister having their third child, Bridget's brother having a baby. All these babies and family was the biggest reason, besides faith. It was faith and family, the two reasons that we came back to be close to what matters most to us. And I'm so excited for my brother and Danielle. If the baby doesn't come before Sunday, she'll be induced Sunday night at 11 o'clock.
Look, I'm 43, and I couldn't, I'm super stoked for your brother, but I couldn't think of starting over.
You're 43?
I'm 43. At least I think I'm. Ask Jacqueline; she'll know.
Yeah, I forget how old I am sometimes. It's terrible.
Oh, the older, the worse it gets.
Yeah. Well, friends, we got to go. I got to get over. We're working on a nonprofit organization. We'll be talking about that pretty soon here. That kind of spurred from Hello Huntsville, and a big thanks to Elliott's Jewelers
We're going to get the name right though one day.
What is that?
Hello Huntsville.
Oh yeah, Huntsville. Hello Huntsville. What did I say? Hello Huntsville.
Yeah, you say it like the people in Conroe.
Yeah. Oh, hello Huntsville.
Huntsville.
But anyways, we're working on a really great, just based on some community involvement work that we were blessed to do. We're working on turning something into a nonprofit that's going to be a really great incentive for the community. And so got a meeting this morning with some nonprofit lawyers to help get that off the ground. It's one of those things that I feel like I could probably do it because I've did it before, but it's a lot of work.
Nonprofit.
And
Is that like a court-appointed lawyer?
What is that?
A nonprofit lawyer?
Well, it's just someone. It's a business lawyer that helps helps with the price. Yeah, no, nothing bad. Oh, we're meeting with a nonprofit lawyer. No, we're meeting with an attorney, I guess is the right word. We're meeting with an attorney to help get the paperwork filled out. So some exciting things that we're still doing. I told you, even though I'm blessed to be on staff at First Baptist now and working there with the church, we are still fully committed to Hello Huntsville and the great things that this community is all about. And so we'll be out there. We appreciate you. We love you, Huntsville. Billy, good to see you, man. You're the first dumpling. Garrick's the second, and I'm the third. So dumpling 1, good to see you today. It's kind of like a Dr. Seuss book. We'll figure that out. I read Dr. Seuss last. I don't like reading Dr. Seuss to Braylon.
I thought I was number 2 last time.
Braylon, she gets to pick out a book every night. I tell her, go pick out a book. So we always do the bathing, all that. Go pick out a book. She's got a bookcase. She'll always pick out a book. It's a cool routine. I go sit, we have like a guest bed, so I'll go lay in the guest bed. I'll tell her, go pick out a book. She'll pick out the book. She closes the door. She comes to the side. Book, Daddy, hands it to me. Then I pick her up, put her in bed, and then she goes, cover up. So she likes to cover up next to me, and she'll snuggle up, and we read a book. She picked Dr. Seuss, and I am not a Dr. Seuss fan. I'm just not. I think the guy was nuts. He was eating some crazy brownies. When you look at the illustrations and the words, like, what was this guy eating, man, when he wrote these books? But that's the book she wanted, and you know what? That's the book we read last night.
Go. Now, is she able to read some of it to you, or
no? She's 23 months. She does though. It's cute now. She'll get a book on her. I've caught her. Bridget's caught her too. By herself, she'll get books and open them up in the middle of the day, and she'll point at the pictures, and she's making up her own stories now. It's the cutest thing. I got to record it.
No, that's great.
Yeah, it's funny, man.
I'm sure Kay could probably put a more educational spin on it than me, but that means she's doing it.
And there was something, just because we're on this topic, and I know we got to go because we're way over time, and
ain't nobody watching us no how.
No, they already signed off because they're all at work. I do want to show this real quick. This was, and I'm hoping that maybe it saved it. I'm trying to find it here. I don't think it saved it, actually. Man, I'll show it next week, but Bridget sent me some photos the other day of Braylon, And she has learned with those magnet blocks, the magnetiles. Have you seen those? They're the coolest invention ever. She has learned.
My dad was a carpenter. We had real wood blocks that
real
was left over from a friend.
Well, she has learned now to build towers, like legitimate boxes. And the other day, Bridget sent, and I was like, did you help her? She's like, no, she built that on her own. She built a cube tower and just kept, like, she knew how to do the sides, the roof. And then the other night when I was doing it, she goes, Daddy, house. And she built, it has a triangle. She built a house.
Dang.
I was like, man. And Bridget's dad, it was funny. He goes, I'm kind of concerned. It's kind of scary how smart she is. I said, well, that's all her mama teaching her these things, which is great.
Yeah, so, ride that storm out, man.
Yeah, so I'll give the mama credit.
We played with dominoes as kids. I guess we were poor.
Yeah, I did too, man. My sister said, "What's wrong with you? Dr. Seuss is awesome." I read those books to my girls. Dr. Seuss, Rebecca, man, literally, he was on the wrong kind of brownies. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of that dude.
To me, like he was putting something on his tongue and illustrating.
I have no idea. All right, we'll go. Friends, we love you. We thank you. We appreciate you very much for all that you do here in Huntsville. Remember to get out there and make a difference today as we continue to celebrate all things good happening here in our wonderful community. Thank you for everybody who chimed in this week on our Granny Mary's Cajun Asian Cuisine text line. And we just ask that you get out there and make a difference today. Be good to somebody. That'll wrap it up, friends, as we end every broadcast reminding you we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you, Huntsville. Good morning and God bless. We'll see you back at it. Not on Monday because it's Columbus Day. We'll be back on Tuesday. We'll have a rerun on Monday.
Oh, you think Greg would give me the day off?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Have a great day, Billy.
See you.
We love you, Huntsville. We'll see you later.